It's December 15, 2021, and everything that could have happened has happened. What does that look like? Welcome to Life of a CISO. I'm Dr. Eric Cole, your host, and we'll be taking you on a journey each week on what it takes to be a CISO and what are solutions that you can implement today if you are currently a Chief Information Security Officer or if you want to be one in the future. This is Life of a CISO. Welcome to this week's episode of Life of a CISO with yours truly, Dr. Eric Cole, where we go in and focus on what it takes to be a world-class CISO. And there's a lot of different aspects to it. We talk about strategy, we talk about tactics, we talk about technology, because remember, to be a world-class CISO, there's really three main components. You need to be able to know business, you need to know cybersecurity. Those are the two. You need to translate across it. And then the third piece that's probably the most important and often overlooked is mindset. Right? You got to believe that you can do it. And I just want to check in and see how are you doing with your world-class CISO exercise. Remember a week ago, I gave you the exercise that every morning when you wake up, you look in the mirror and you point to yourself and say, I am a world-class CISO in present tense. And then before you go to bed, you do the same. So be honest. How many of you have been doing it? Come on, every day, right? Every single day. Now, where's my honor students? Where's the ones that did the bonus exercise where you kept doing it each morning until you felt energized, juiced, and ready to go, right? Because I'm sure some of you that went through it, you're like, I am a world-class CISO. Wow. I don't think you convinced anyone, including yourself, right? So you keep doing it. I am a world-class CISO. I am a world-class CISO. I am a world-class, right? And you do it till you're ready to start like headbutting people, right? But don't go there, right? I'm not endorsing headbutting. That just gets really, really scary really quickly. So that's the first piece. The next one I want to talk about today, in this episode, focus a little bit more on the mindset piece because I'm seeing this come up a lot. So first is, I want you to do an exercise, not right now, but sometime within the next 24 hours of listening to this episode. I want you to go and spend 45 minutes thinking time on this question. Where do you want to be in 6 months? Now, I know it's a little less than 6 months, but I always like having a set date. So let's say it's December 15, 2021. And everything that could have happened has happened. What does that look like? What do you look like? What is your position? What are you earning? What are you doing? What does your day look like? What's sort of that ideal stance? Because the more you can dial in exactly what you want and the clearer that you can get, the better chance of accomplishing it. Now, here's the hidden piece. I know some of you, when you say that, you're like, okay, Eric, you've watched the episodes of The Secret too many times, right? With the law of attraction and all those other factors. And I do believe there's some truth to that. However, to me, the secret to success is not just law of attraction. The secret of success is working your booty off every day, right? Working towards that goal. But here's the thing. If you don't know what that goal is, how do you know what you're working towards? Right? You need to get crystal clear. It's an example that what if I called you up and I said, hey, what are you doing? Oh, Eric, I'm driving to vacation. Great. Where are you going? I've been on the Beltway. If you're not familiar with Washington, D.C., it's a loop, right? So you can literally go in circles. I've been on the Beltway and I'm doing my 6th loop. I'm like, what? I'm like, where are you going? I don't know. I just know I want a vacation. And I know I want to go to a beach, but there's lots of beaches. So I'm just sort of driving around the Beltway and just seeing what happens. You're probably looking at me a little weird now and maybe even laughing because it's awkward. Nobody would do that in the real world. But guess what? We do that in our lives all the time. We don't have a clear destination and we're just doing random things to get there. We're not really crystal clear. So you want to, utilizing my example, I want to go to Miami Beach. I want to stay in South Beach, right on the water, in the presidential suite in the Hilton. That's pretty darn specific, right? For 5 days. So you got to get specific there too. So now it's pretty darn specific. So now I could take action. I know the hotel I want to stay at. So one of the actions I could take is I could call up and see when that room that I want is available, because there's only one of those, right? There's only one presidential suite. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite rooms, right? Two stories. You have beautiful decks. You have a private pool. I mean, it's just one of my favorite places to go, just to sort of plan, regroup, and get my mindset for my strategic planning. So very clear on the hotel. So I could take action. Also, I know exactly where I'm going, so I can plan travel. So do you see, once you get specific, all of a sudden the actions you need to take become a lot easier to do. So that's the same thing I want you to do, is spend, now some of you might take more than 45 minutes, but 45 minutes get pretty crystal clear in terms of what you want, where you want to be, and what you want to accomplish. Now, if some of you aren't familiar with thinking time, so with thinking time, essentially, it's pretty obvious and self-explanatory. You think for 45 minutes, right? And it's the most craziest, most powerful thing on the planet. Your mind and body has all the solutions. Every solution to every problem that you need to solve as a world-class Chief Information Security Officer is within you. The problem is we never take time to listen. We never take time to solve it. Every time I've made bad decisions in my career and my life, it's because I never thought about it. And every time I make amazingly great decisions, it's always because I do thinking time. And I'm very big on scheduling out your time. So literally tomorrow morning, there's a current problem I'm dealing with. And from 9 to 9:45 tomorrow morning, I will do thinking time. Just want to take a quick break. I hope you're enjoying the show. I have this free webinar that I would love for you to check out if you want to become a world-class CISO. Now, I'm still old school. I like pen and paper. So I actually use an artist pad because I like to draw it out. It's thicker paper, so it's easier on the ink. And I use a 9x14 book that I do for in colored erasable pens. And what I'll do is at 9 o'clock, I'll write down the question at the top. So in this case, you would write down at the top of your page, where do I want to be December 15, 2021? And then I go to my phone and I set my clock for 45 minutes. I do go. Then I just write for 45 minutes, whatever comes to mind. Good stuff, bad stuff, crazy stuff. Sometimes the crazy stuff is the best stuff. And just, you're right. You don't look at your watch because you have a timer. You don't look at your phone. You don't check email. You don't do social media. You don't do anything else. Now, I'll warn you, if you've never done this before, it's going to feel a little strange and awkward. And after 5 or 10 minutes, right, it's going to feel like torture and you're going to want to. The trick is this: build the muscle and the insights come. So I have people go, Eric, I've done thinking time and I didn't get any answers out of it. I said, great. How many times did you do it once? Do it 10 times. Or the other one is, Eric, I didn't get anything out of thinking time. I'm like, okay, great. Give me some details. Well, after 10 minutes, I couldn't think of anything, so I started looking at my phone. You did it wrong. Here's the only thing you need to do the first time you're doing thinking time. The only rule is this: for 45 minutes, you keep writing whatever comes to mind and you don't stop. You don't look at the phone. You don't look at email. You don't do anything else but the pad and paper and just whatever crazy ideas come to mind. That's the only rule that you must follow. Now, some of you will have brilliant breakthroughs. Others won't, and that's okay. Build the muscle. Second time, third time. Most people, it takes 6 to 10 times before they're really convinced and believers. But I'll tell you, everybody I know, everybody I've coached, everybody who I've taught them this trick that has done thinking time more than 12 times, swear by it. It's one of the most powerful tools on the planet. It's one of the best ways to get insights and guidance. And it's one of the most underutilized mechanisms out there. I do thinking time at least 3 to 4 times. And when I'm really busy and really struggling, I do it 7 or 8 times. Think about that. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Whenever I say that, I always love doing it with the live audience when I say that, because you always get the weird looks back at you, but they're like, wait, that's counterintuitive. I'm like, it's actually not. They're like, so the busier you are and the more behind and the more down you are, the more time you spend doing it. Yes, because it's not about the quantity of time. It's about the quality. When I do more thinking time, I can get in the flow and I can get so much more done. And if I'm not in the flow, which when I'm down or super busy or frustrated about things, which yes, it does happen to Dr. Cole. It actually does, right? I'll tell you, I live him every single day, right? And you're not going to be productive. So if I'm not in flow, I'm not going to work. If I'm not in flow, I'm not going to go ahead and record my Life of a CISO podcast because it's not going to be good. Thinking time gets you in flow because it gives you a release. It lets you rethink about what's going on and lets you realign with what's happening and what's occurring. So trust me, it's powerful, but before you criticize it, you got to do it at least 10 times. I don't know anybody, and I don't think you're going to be the first, anybody who's done it 10 times and comes back and be like, yeah, I don't like it. So your exercise, and I'm going to check in, is 45 minutes. Write down what is the ideal version of you, December 15, 2021. I want you to be specific. What is the job? Where are you working? If applicable, name the company. Right? Don't say, I want to work for a large company. Say, I want to work for a Fortune 50 pharmaceutical company. That's better. What's even better is, I want to be the CISO of company X, making a salary of $600,000 with a $300,000 bonus, and boom, boom, boom. I mean, just be as specific as possible. Set that very, very clear target. Now, here's the coolest part. And once again, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy when I'm doing this. The probability of hitting that exact target is not the point. The point is you had a target. Now, let me ask you a question. If I decided that I want to go to Miami and stay at the Hilton Bentley in the presidential suite, and for some reason it's booked and it's not available or I can't get in, and I end up staying at North Beach at the presidential suite at the Ritz-Carlton, am I really going to be upset? Am I really going to be frustrated? Am I really going to be like, man, this isn't what no, I'm still going to be thrilled, right? I'm still going to be happy. So the point is you get very, very specific so you can actually take action towards it. But you always want to be flexible that things will occur that you didn't anticipate, which will require that you adapt and adjust and change. And that's all part of the journey, right? That's all part of the journey. So I'll ask you, if you wrote down that you want to be the CISO of a specific pharmaceutical company making $600K, and December 15, 2021, you are the CISO for a hospital making $550K. And it's the ideal job. You get to travel, which you love. You get to work from home. Are you really going to be mad and upset? No, right? You're probably going to be thrilled. And in some cases, you're going to be like, you know something? That was even better. Right? That's actually how I found the Ritz, because a couple of years ago before the pandemic, when I wanted to go down, my favorite hotel wasn't available. So I tried that one and I'm like, ooh, this is even nicer, right? So things aren't going to always go as planned, but that's okay because you're making forward progress towards the target. So if the target shifts a little bit or the target changes, who cares? Be flexible. Now, once you have that crystal clear target of what you want, and the people that are more specific actually get better results. Because you've heard me say it, the mind is a goal-achieving machine. the more specific you can be about what you want and what that job looks like, the better off you're going to be. So be super specific. And remember, no judgment. Anything goes, right? Write it. Don't judge yourself. This is the most dangerous thing during thinking time, is for you to be self-critical. So you're writing stuff down and your mind starts going, well, that's stupid. Well, what is so-and-so? You're not showing this to anyone right away. This is for you. So anything goes. Just brain dump, brain dump, brain dump. That's the goal of it. Then, once you have that very clear focus of where you want to be in 6 months, what is a 1 month goal? So in order for you to get there, what do you have to do by the end of August? By September 1st, what has to be done? So an example, if we use my trip to Miami, is if I want to go to Miami December 15th, by September 1st, I need to know what hotel I'm staying at and have a reservation. Because I can't book travel, I can't book flight, I can't do any of that other stuff. So that's going to be my first step. So September 1st, I'm going to go in and book travel. I'm going to book my hotel. That means by mid-August, I need to have quotes and a list of hotel availability. That means by the first week in August, I need to have a list of potential hotels that I'm looking at. You see how that works? So it's all about action. It's all about clarity and action. So then you go in and you set, okay, what do I need to achieve by September 1? And then what do I need to do each week to get closer to being that world-class CISO? Now, what's important here is there's a balance. I do want you to push yourself, and I do want you to get out of your comfort zone. But I also want it to be something that you truly actually believe that you can accomplish. So if you're sitting here listening to this and you're right out of college, right? You just graduated 3 weeks ago. You've done a couple interns in IT, but that's it. Saying that by December 15th, 2021, you're going to be the CISO of a Fortune 10 pharmaceutical making $600,000 a year. I love you. I'm here to support you, right? That's probably outside the realm of realistic. Now, could you do it by December 15th, 2024? Absolutely, right? Yeah, you need a little more runway there, but that's probably not practical. However, saying if that's you, that brand new graduate, that by December 15th, 2021, you're going to be a security analyst at one of the top 5 MSSPs, having major clients as accounts, and you list those clients down, making $130,000 a year. That's a stretch, right? I warn you, you got to work for that. But that's something that if you really, really push yourself and get aggressive, you can get pretty close to that. So that's always the balance, where you want to go in and get out of that comfort zone and really, really push yourself. But you also want to go in and sort of something that is reasonably achievable, right? With the right effort and the right energy. So I urge you to try that exercise, right? Do it for real. Now, some of you might have to do multiple thinking sessions, right? You might have to do this 3, 4, or 5 times, but give it a shot, because remember, you can achieve anything you want. Your mind is a goal-achieving machine, but you got to set a very, very clear target and clear focus. So after you do some thinking, post some messages below. I'd love to hear from you. And once again, thank you for listening to this episode of Life of a CISO. Make sure you join me next week. We're going to take you to that next level.